When you give God the best part of your day, He will take over the rest of it. Choose to give God your best time and not what's left on it. He will make everything else fall in place for you. After feeding my soul, it's time to feed my body. I choose coffee to improve my energy level, and it made me feel less tired. I ran out of my favorite bacon spread, so I am using this Nutella. Going to the market early to buy ingredients for my menu today because I knew that there was no harm in starting early and you could never go wrong by doing that. This morning, I am so happy to see our vegetable plants. They are growing so fast. We grow plants for many reasons, and one of them are the joy in seeing them grow.
이건 얼마예요? 아, 큰 걸로 작은 거 없어요?
작은 것도 2,000이고 그렇다. 1,000원은 없다. 2,000원.
너무 커요. 잠깐만요. 3,000원.
얼마 주고요? 얼마?
3,000원.
Nước mắt có phải là 1 triệu là 15 1 triệu này đó à? Đó thì đó là chúng ta một triệu là giá tiền này. Đi từ đây đi du lịch hay là bài có tiền bạc cái đó gì phải đó. Rồi tháng này là tiền bạc thì có bỏ lá thì từ tháng này này còn trả đỡ đó. Đó.
1kg 얼마예요?
Nguyên thì phải ăn nhiều vào chứ hơi gầy này. Gầy quá.
이모 이거 얼마예요? 2,000원. 2,000원.
여러 번 받았는데 얼마 받았는데?
나는 집 앞 가는 것보다 더 많이 받는
이거 장난하는 거 이거 보세요.
거. 2,000원 가져가.
그냥 저 네. 얼마예요?
네?
6,800. 또 여기가.
네. 그 계란 얼마예요?
7,800원. 저 밑에 하나 9,000원, 9,000원. 계란 엄청 올랐어.
감사합니다.
Eating is a necessity, but cooking is an art. Let me read to you our favorite Bible verses about food. These Bible verses prove that when it comes to food, there is nothing new under the sun. In Ecclesiastes 9 verse 7, "Go, eat your food with gladness, and drink your wine with a joyful heart." John 6:35 says, "Then Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." I also remember when God rained down manna for the Israelites people. We can read it in Psalm 78 verse 24. He rained down manna for the people to eat. He gave them the grain of heaven. Also in Isaiah chapter 55 verse 2, listen to me, and eat what is good, and you will delight in the riches of fare. Can you remember the beautiful story of Jesus about the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish? We can read it in Matthew chapter 14 verse 19. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. The feeding of the 5,000 is one of Jesus' most popular miracles. If you grew up in church, you probably saw it depicted on many a flannel graph. You know the story. Jesus was in a deserted place where large crowds were hanging on his every word. When it started to get late, Jesus' disciples asked him to disperse the gathering to the surrounding villages so they could grab a bite to eat, rather than sending them home. Jesus took 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed the multitude. The young lad who shared his food became famous that day and was sent home with 12 baskets full of leftovers. I'll read to you those great verses that you can put in the kitchen. First, in Matthew chapter 6 verse 11, "Give us this day our daily bread." In Psalms chapter 34 verse 8, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him." In Matthew chapter 4 verse 4, "But he answered, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." In Corinthians chapter 10 verse 31, "So whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do all the glory of God." In John chapter 6 verse 35, Jesus said to them, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger, and whoever believes in me shall never thirst." In Psalms chapter 37 verse 25, "I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken or his children begging for bread." And remember, God provides food to all of his creation. As we can read in Genesis 1 verse 30, "And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I gave every green plant for food." And it was so. In Psalms chapter 145 verse 15, "The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food at the proper time." Also in Psalms chapter 136 verse 25, "He gives food to every creature. His love endures forever." Some people eat their plate of food but are still starving. They are starving spiritually. With Jesus, you will never hunger and thirst. Our next breath comes from Christ. We are able to enjoy meals because of Christ. Salvation is only found in Christ. It's all about Him. He is all that you need, and He is all that you have. When at the end of a long day, there's only one Bible verse that pops up in my mind. In Matthew chapter 11 verse 28 says, "Come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." These words are like an evening cuddle from God saying, "It'll be okay, just stay close to me," you to remember that however tired you might be, you can always go to Jesus. Saying good night to everyone, and God bless us all.